on tonight, go get us a W. Hell yeah. Ready, green. What the copy? Right foot down. We got to go, player. Unbelievable, man. Way to keep your head in it. Holy oh boy. Oh boy. Yeah. What? Yeah. I'm done with it. It's your pace. Set sail. Steve, you look beautiful. Doing great. Ridiculous, man. Holy. You see that? Holy cow. Good job, man. Two times, baby. Yeah. Holy crap.
Hey everybody, welcome to this week's episode of NWP. I was gone last week, unfortunately. I had some work things that I had to do, but we're back this week on my channel. So far we've got a good crowd who's already here, 147 already watching, only 33 likes. Let's get that number up and let's get into it. Joined by my usual host here. Ordinarily for Nashville Week, yeah, we like to get together. Unfortunately, didn't all work out this time, but we are going to be there at the track this weekend. So if you're going to be there, make sure you say hello. I know I'll go to the tweet up. Maybe some of the other guys might be somewhere around the track. So if you see us, say hello. It's Nashville Superspeedway week. So let's get right into it. Let's get straight into some hot takes to start us off. And I think Darian is going to go first for this one.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you, Danny B. So since we had no, racing last weekend and stuff, well, no NASCAR racing, excuse me, it left me with a lot of free time on my hands. And you know what? I just realized something. Cars 2 actually isn't that bad of a movie. It's not that bad. You know, I watched it for only the third time ever in my life. And I was like, you know what? Okay, there's not really any like real racing storylines really. Like, it's mostly, with the whole, spy action and stuff like that. But I gotta say, I was thoroughly entertained. Now, it is the worst movie out of the three, without a doubt. But after watching it, watching it again, I was like, you know what, this is okay. It's okay. So that's my hot take.
You can tell it's an off week when our hot takes are Pixar movies. Am I next, Danny? I think I'm second.
Yes, Eric is second.
I was going to talk about the fact that Ally is apparently not running an exclusive scheme for the Ally 400. I am devastated because the past 2 years they have been freaking intense. This year, I'm sorry, Danny, I'm really not a fan of the nighttime version of his scheme this year, so I'm disappointed, but that's not what my hot take is about. This may be a fan favorite, but I think it is hot. Carl Edwards will run another NASCAR race before he croaks. I don't know. I don't know if y'all saw this, but he's going to be at Nashville this weekend. The track is honoring him. He won there, I think, like 6 times. Concrete Carl, we know how great he was in the Busch Series at Nashville Superspeedway, but this will be his second public appearance in just a couple of months. When was the last time Carl Edwards went outside once a year, let alone twice in like one spring, one summer?
And we're going to see both of them, by the way.
It's because of us.
It's because of us.
Yeah.
But I remember something.
Carl Edwards confirmed running the NWP car.
But I remember something Dale Jr. said on his podcast when he talked to Carl Edwards is that, he kind of thinks that the closer Carl gets to NASCAR, the stronger that itch will be to come back. So the fact that this is 2 appearances, he even said after Darlington, Carl said that he was surprised by the fan reaction, the support. Keep in mind, he also toured Trackhouse earlier this year. I don't think he's necessarily going to run Project 91. If I had to guess, I don't think Edwards runs a cup race. But I do believe Carl Edwards will race in NASCAR again. I would be shocked if he doesn't. He's just getting too close to the action.
By the way, you were talking about this diecast.
Oh,
beautiful.
Oh,
beautiful.
Come on, Ally. We need that. We need more.
Gorgeous. I got plenty of props for tonight.
I guess they just say that nighttime car doesn't get to run enough, so they just run it when they can.
That's a good point, actually.
Well, my hot take. So I want to preface this. There are tons of amazing content creators and YouTubers on this platform that do not have a huge audience. And one who I think deserves one is NBR. Makes awesome stuff. If you've seen his chase videos, well, being the off weekend, if you're someone who makes YouTube videos on here, you know that this is honestly an opportunity to make stuff you normally wouldn't have the opportunity to make. And he talked about the Daytona 500. My hot take is that I agree with him. And it has nothing to do with the summer. I just got to say, I think the Daytona 500 does have a problem, and I think it is turning into just another race. It is not feeling as prestigious as it once used to, and I think that the points he made in his video about how basically every race ends either under caution or under a ton of different restarts and crashes and taking out cars that don't need to be taken out, I think he's 100% right, and I think that until either NASCAR or driver etiquette in some way changes, the Daytona 500 will only deteriorate in how big of a race it is. So my hot take is, yes, I think the Daytona 500 has a huge problem, and we are, 8 months away from the other one? It's never too early to talk about the Daytona 500.
Yeah, but no, MBR, I love his channel.
Yeah.
So on that note, if Jared gets to talk about other channels that he likes, I'm going to talk about other channels that I like too, that I think is very underrated, and some of y'all need to go check out. Since we had an off week, got to really talk about other things. If y'all know, I haven't been posting as much, and the fact of the matter is, I post daily on a bigger channel. I'm not talking about that one, but I'm talking about someone that I like to watch a lot while editing stuff for this big channel and just in my spare time. I've been going on a binge of watching a very underrated guy from the OCRP community. A lot of you guys know Jeff Fabiano. He helped start all that. Guy named Old Man Beardface. He's literally just an older guy, probably in his like 50s or 60s, but he's very chill. If you want a chill streamer to go check him out. I was in his stream the other day, and I saw someone on Twitter was like, "Oh my gosh, I can't believe DannyBTalks just randomly in that guy's live stream." It's like, yeah, he's pretty cool. So go check out Old Man Beardface. That's my hot take.
Just to check out a YouTube channel.
Spicy.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been the off week, everybody.
Yeah, I think I won this one though. I'm not gonna lie.
I don't know. Carl Edwards coming back. I don't know. I think
Daytona
it was pretty
500
hot to
not
me.
being important as
We'll
it
see.
used to be.
Well, you said as important.
Hey,
Yeah.
I said Cars 2 wasn't as bad. So look at that. 69%.
I mean, to be fair, I agree with you. Pixar's never made a bad movie. They've just made underwhelming movies. And I would say Cars.
Wait. They never made a bad movie.
I don't think Pixar has ever made a bad movie.
Wait, didn't they make Mars versus Moms or something?
No,
like
that was not Pixar. I don't know who made that.
Okay. Sorry.
Wasn't that a Seth Green movie?
I don't know. Okay, so it wasn't.
Weren't they the ones who made Sausage Party? I'm pretty sure that was Pixar.
Oh my god, my dad took my brother and I to see that, and I was old enough, my brother was not. He was like, I just wanted to sink into the wall.
I can imagine.
And in the last 5 minutes, we'll keep it like that.
Hold on. I like this guy's summary of all of our hot takes. Triple P Productions. Darian, Cars 2 is good. Eric, Carl Edwards returns. Jarrett, Daytona 500 is mid. Danny, old guy is cool.
Old guy with a beard, specifically.
Yes.
All right. Well, that's that was
So
hot
race
in
this
my
weekend. Who won?
No, yeah. Oh, well, and
We all
in
won.
IndyCar.
We all won. No, I take that back. I had a fishing tournament this weekend. I sucked. I didn't catch a single fish. I lost. I need to get ready to learn Chinese and fishing, buddy.
Damn. Well, in IndyCar, Alex Palou won at Road America, and then F1, Verstappen leads every lap and wins, of course. I didn't watch a single lap because I streamed for 10 hours. That was crazy. Oh, I'm never doing that again.
So you didn't get the whole, notice like Netflix asking if you were still watching?
No. No. Oh man.
All right. Well, we did have some news, right, Danny?
Yeah, some guy from down the street is getting an opportunity, something like that.
The hometown dude. Hey. I mean, first we have Joseph Newgarden, hometown hero, winning the Indy 500, and now we got another hometown boy, Josh Berry.
Yeah,
he's moving on up.
Tony Stewart said that according to him, he was the clear choice all along, and he might as well have been. How long have we, the four of us, known that this was happening? Like what, 2 months at least?
I can 2.5, I think, at the very
it's been a long
2.5
time.
Yeah, and what stuck out to me was Tony Stewart. He even confirmed before the Hendrick Motorsports replacement deal. No, we the decision was already made months in advance, basically.
Yeah, they had kind of picked out Barry as their lead target pre-season, like before the season began. And I think Barry even kind of talked about, I didn't listen to all of his appearance on Dale Jr.'s podcast today, but I saw he was on the Dale Jr. download. But he did talk a little bit about, then when he gets the call that he's going to have to fill in for Chase Elliott last minute, it was sort of like it was simply an audition. Like, they hadn't signed anything with Stuart Haas yet. I'm sure in the back of his mind, he thought, if I just go out there and absolutely blow it, what if SHR pivots last minute and these talks fall through?
Yeah.
But yeah, they would have been talking well in advance. And apparently, like, Dale Jr. was pretty much aware of it from the beginning. I don't know how aware Chevy and Hendrick was, because maybe that would have changed their decision to put Barry in a Hendrick car, because instead they're basically now giving a rival free seat time.
Yeah, that was the funniest part about that answer.
Yeah.
Tony, sorry, like, oh yeah, Chevy gave us a free seat time. Thanks, Chevy. Appreciate it.
Yeah. So I did think it's interesting how early. Apparently it was Stewart liked him, Harvick liked him. Rodney Childers especially seems to be a big Josh Berry fan. I know Childers comes from the late model world. Obviously, that's where Josh Berry is probably is most known for. But that's, I think, the reason Rodney Childers is sticking around, because didn't he say a few years ago that when Harvick retires, there's a good chance he would go with him? I think he said that. I may be wrong. Someone in the chat, correct me if I'm just making that up.
I think his mind just changed since he said that.
I think his mind changed because it's Josh Berry. I think if they were promoting, let's say Cole Custer was going to drive the 4, which I don't think was ever a realistic option. But let's say Riley Herbst gets the 4. Rodney Childers might pack it up or ask to be put in a more, permanent competition role where he gets to stay home more often. But since it's Josh Berry, I think that was instrumental in keeping Rodney Childers around, which I think is extremely important because he is one of the best crew chiefs in the garage.
So I just want to ask y'all something. I guess we can, sort of start the, more of the conversation here and stuff, but what are our y'all's expectations for him next year? I'm not expecting a miracle turnaround overnight, to be honest with you.
Top 20. I honestly, if
that's
top
reasonable.
20, he'd be top of his team. That's what I would think is a realistic expectation. He should outrun the Spire team. How about that?
Damn,
which is actually more difficult to do now.
Damn, Jared, just hearing you say that just made me realize, damn, the bar is so low now.
It is.
God. Yeah.
But he's also a rookie. Like I've made this mistake, and I think a lot of us have, of really overselling or overrating how we think rookies will do. I mean, I don't want to sound like a jerk about this, but I don't know of any other way to say it. He's not even the best guy at the moment at his Xfinity team. And he's heading up to Cup, which is we've seen. I mean, Noah Gragson wiped the floor with him that last year, and just about everybody, and so did Ty Gibbs. And while Ty Gibbs is in that playoff contention, and I get the car isn't great by any means, but Noah Gragson looks lost right now as a Cup driver. So I would say if he finishes top 20, I think that should be successful. People forget Rodney Childers, when he was with MWR, while he got a win with Brian Vickers, and I believe he got another one with David Rudiman or 2, they were they were never Kevin Harvick level performances.
But basically, he's a crew chief that'll get the best out of any driver, anyone.
I hate to sound so selfish in what I'm asking for him, but I want to win. I want to see a win out of him, because I'm looking back at SHR's last few drivers, and their first year, they either got a win or was that close to getting a win. Chase Briscoe was that close to getting a win his first year at the Indy Road Course. He did get a win his second year. Cole Custer, he got a win his first year. Ryan Preece has already been in contention at Martinsville, had an opportunity to contend for a win there. And even Eric Almirola, his first season with SHR, he got a win at Talladega and was in contention for multiple races that year. So because of how the team is and what we've seen from the past with this caliber of a driver and what this 4 car is, I think the 4 is up there in arguing with what's the flagship car, SHR. I want to win. I want to see him at least contending for a win.
Yeah, I look at Josh Berry, and I consider him to be slightly overrated. And I think a large part of why is because he drives for Dale Earnhardt Jr. and he's had that endorsement this whole time. I think he's a smart race car driver. I think Tony Stewart said it well. He said he's very mature today. He said that in his press conference today, and I think that's accurate. I don't think you're going to see many dumb mistakes from Josh Berry, which is a good thing. But when it comes to just raw seat of your pants talent, like what we see from Kyle Larson, he can just make a car go faster than just about anybody else. I think it will take time for Josh Berry to get there. But that's why I'm happy Rodney Childers is sticking around, because I do think that'll make that adjustment a little bit easier. So my expectation, I think expectations should be playoffs. I think anything short of playoffs, whether that's via a win or pointing his way in, anything short of playoffs will be slightly disappointing. And I understand that he's technically a rookie, but he is also 33 years old. Like with a 20-year-old like William Byron, you can give him 3, 4, 5 years to finally hit his rhythm, find his groove, and contend for deep playoff runs and championships. But with a guy like Josh Berry and the shoes he's now expected to fill, I mean, it just kind of comes with the territory. He's getting a great opportunity. Expectations are high. They don't have 4 years to waste on Josh Berry. We can't wait till he's 37, 38 years old to finally start, contending regularly for wins. He needs to be relevant right off the bat. Now, will he be relevant? Maybe, maybe not. I think I'm a little higher on Rodney Childers than you are, Jarrett. I think Rodney's going to make a difference. I think the 4 car will consistently be the best car at SHR next year. I don't think Berry will necessarily be the best driver off the bat. Like I look at Briscoe, who's got a little more cup experience to perhaps take that step, but I think playoffs should be the goal, and anything less of that will at least be a slight disappointment.
I
think I see,
I think I'm just scarred by a little bit by, post Jimmy Chad Knaus. Because I mean, we've seen how Byron has been since getting with Rudy Fugle, and there's some pairings that are just magical, and Rodney Childers and Kevin Harvick, I think, are one of those pairings. That's where my worry. I don't doubt that Rodney Childers will help him out immensely, and I do think they come from the similar mindset of just racers in general. I want people to pump the brakes on thinking that Josh Berry is going to be like the second coming of Kevin Harvick for this team. I honestly, he's been compared to this guy, and I think that it's valid. I honestly would be happy if he went down the Greg Biffle route. If it took 3 years to really become that big contender, but you see flashes of it, I would be happy with that so far.
See, the way I see it is Storehouse Racing is going to be in for a long rebuild, I feel like, because I mean, there's also rumors that, the 10's going to be, they're going to have a new driver. Harrison Burton, maybe Michael McDowell, perhaps, who knows? But I mean, to Eric's earlier point, I mean, he is 33 and he is going to be a rookie and stuff too. And I mean, I know he has all this, late model experience and Xfinity experience and stuff. But as you know, I mean, the Cup Series is a different beast. I do feel like he will make very few rookie mistakes though. But as far as like being like competitive, I feel like if Josh Berry is like flirting with if he's flirting with playoff contention, then I would consider that a good season, good first year for him.
Yeah, I think so. Like I'm saying, I think they go into it wanting to make the playoffs. If they end up like 18th, they miss out by a little bit, and I'm cool with that. Yeah, they'll be like, okay, that was okay. It's not the goal, but it was okay. But I agree with you guys that Josh Berry is not going to come in and save the day. Absolutely not. Like even long term, I think
33. He's 33 years old.
He's 33, but even 5 years from now, I kind of hope Chase Briscoe's better than him. Because Chase Briscoe's got a longer runway. He's been a Ford guy since the beginning, and so I look at Berry as hopefully just stopping the bleeding. Like you lose Harvick, this team is. I'm worried this team will be a C tier team next year. Hopefully Berry can help keep them be a B tier team. Hopefully Briscoe with his new crew chief can help them be a B tier team still. But yeah, that's all Berry is. He's not going to come in and keep that 4-car running top 5. He's just there to stop the bleeding as much as possible.
Well, now when you say stop the bleeding, I mean, do you think like because of his age and his current relevance that for now he's like a stopgap driver until they can find somebody young, maybe? Or
no, I think it's more just like again, especially if Almirola retires, you could be looking at a super young team next year. I know Preece, I think, is 30 something, Berry's in his 30s, but you could have like a 20. Maybe they go with like McDowell to drive the 10 or something, but you could have like you could have a Zane Smith at like 22 years old, whatever he is, in the 10. You could have a 20-something-year-old Chase Briscoe, early 30s Preece and Berry, a lot of inexperience there. And that's a team that could all be that could just be an awful team next year.
I would love Todd Gilliland too, by the way. Just
putting out a little reckless speculation. I like to try and keep an eye on people that leak stuff out, like whether it's on Reddit or whatever, and if it's actually right. So again, grain of salt with this, but we've heard this name at the track before. We've heard this name as in the rumor mill, and they keep having people come out and say this guy is the lead contender to be in the 10. He's got sponsorship, and they're going to need it if Almirola retires. Harrison Burton with Dex going over to the 10 car. I would not rule that out, because the 21, the 21 is that car that Ford just throws whoever the hell they need to into it.
That car, once Blaney got away from it, it's just been downhill with that one. Paul Menard almost won a clash. That was about the only thing.
And also, I feel like Harrison Burton's a lot better than people think. I feel like because he's young and because that team isn't as good, it's a bad combo. So I feel like maybe a fresh start is exactly what he needs. But I would rather see
it's going to be young.
I would rather see Todd Gilliland get the opportunity in the 10 or go full time with Front Row Motorsports.
Well, I want to mention I don't know how to say his name. Bulgogi 77 in the chat said Tony Stewart pretty much shot that idea down today when Tony Stewart said that he's.
Oh, come on.
I know.
Here's the thing.
Tony's
He's not the only owner,
though.
He's not the only owner. Oh, and also, I just realized this. Where was Gene Haas? He was at the announcement, or no?
He wasn't he wasn't on stage. Maybe he was lurking in the background.
Okay. Just okay. Because I know like there's a history where like he's made decisions behind Tony Stewart's back, and then vice versa and that sort of thing. So I didn't know. If it was, like,
well, I just Tony, and I don't know that Harrison Burton fits this description, but Tony did say that he's not interested in putting kids with rich dads in his cars.
18-year-old rich kids is what he said.
Well, Harrison's what, 19? No, he's
no.
He
but I don't
know.
He described Ty Gibbs is what I feel like he described, and I think Ty Gibbs deserves to be up in Cup. I'm just saying that now.
Yeah, I agree.
But I mean, it's rich hearing that from Tony Stewart when Riley Herbst is on the team and Cole Custer is on the team and Eric Almirola with Smithfield's on the team.
Yeah. Well, with the Riley thing, there's a reason he's not made it to the Cup yet. So
yeah. Even Tony has some standard.
He's got a top 10 though.
At least when Cole Custer was elevated, he had won 9 races that season before.
Yeah. I don't know. It'll be interesting. Going back to expectations, I think Stewart-Haas Racing has bigger issues than just their driver lineup right now. I think from a leadership standpoint, and I went through this in my video this afternoon because I was diving into it, and it's hard to talk about crew chiefs because we don't know. We don't know technical stuff. We don't know what decisions they're making versus the team, what the manufacturer is struggling with versus them, the crew chief. Like, we don't know exactly. It's hard to judge their performance. But I look at the Stewart-Haas crew chief lineup. I'm high on Rodney Childers. I think he's a Hall of Fame crew chief, no doubt. I think he's elite. I think he's great. But beyond him, they just replaced Briscoe's crew chief. So clearly they didn't feel Johnny Klossmeyer was getting the job done. And the other 2 crew chief slots are Drew Blickensderfer, who, as a Matt Kenseth fan, I saw the beginnings of Blickensderfer. Well, we did win a Daytona 500 with him, and then never won another race and missed the playoffs that year. And then he was out the very next season.
Didn't y'all win the first 2 though?
We won the first 2, missed the
there
playoffs. Yeah. But it was all downhill from there. He's won 2 races since then. Both were super speedways. And granted, he's crew chief for like Richard Petty Motorsports Front Row, not the best teams. But point is, I'm not sure Blickensderfer is necessarily an elite crew chief. And they brought Chad Johnston in this year to work with Ryan Preece. The last time Chad Johnston crew chiefed at Stewart-Haas, he went winless with Tony Stewart. And granted, it was late in Tony Stewart's career, but the next year Tony won in 2016 with somebody else. So
wasn't he also
I don't know.
the crew chief for Kyle Larson at Ganassi?
Yes, for a little bit. Yes.
At Ganassi, yep.
So
yes.
I think when you look at the crew chiefs, because I think it is an interesting little tendril to kind of look down. What my question is, then why is Stewart-Haas Racing as a team attracting lesser talent? Because in my opinion, then you could start talking about that being kind of a culture problem. Because I mean, you see in all sports, teams with a good culture bring good people. People want to be on that team. Hendrick Motorsports, you see it all the time. They poach people all the time. Gibbs, they poach people, and they sometimes are like vampires of Toyota and take over full teams. But Stewart-Haas Racing really hasn't done that since the early 2010s. So it sounds like the way that Haas runs one part, Stewart runs the other. They've had disagreements about guys like Kyle Busch and Kyle Larson, Kurt Busch. It sounds like a mess, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe they start performing better. Winning will solve everything, and we'll talk about how good they are. But it really feels like a mess right now, just overall.
sometimes I think Tony just needs to look at Mr. Haas and say, "Do you know where your team was before I come on board here?"
Yeah, hey, true that. But also too, I mean, just performance wise, I mean, where would you rank Storehouse Racing amongst the four teams? I would rank them fourth personally.
Fourth.
Penske, Front Row, RFK,
And then RFK.
and so those three would be ahead.
Yeah.
I guess
I still gotta have them above Front Row.
Really?
They're doing
Really?
good.
Kevin-
I still don't have them above Front Row.
Kevin Harvick is above Front Row.
Yeah.
The rest
Yeah,
of them are
but
like
he's
way below.
but Harvick is way ahead of Front Row. The other guys are just slightly behind Front. And Briscoe's better than Front Row. He just got that huge penalty. That's the reason he's behind.
Yeah,
him.
Harvick's
yeah,
a
true.
generational talent. Like if we take
know,
that out and then you get the penalty back, it's still. Are we really saying Ryan Preece is a worse driver than Michael McDowell? Because I like McDowell, but I think Preece is a better driver. We see Preece when he is in good equipment, he dominates.
That's fair. I'd say
I still got them
collectively
above
the
Front
worst.
Row.
Yeah, look,
Yeah, I think it's even. Sorry. Go
yeah,
ahead.
but Front Row, I mean, like I made the hot take last weekend or on last week that they could be championship contenders, at the end of the 2020s. But yeah, no, Storehouse, man, this, like Jared said, feels like kind of a bad culture. But hey, maybe bringing in Josh Berry and a few new personnel guys might help that.
I'll say this.
I like what Hunter Nixon Fishing says. Kevin Harvick will need permanent back surgery from all the team carrying he's done, which he did. He carried RCR in probably some of their worst days, and he's carrying SHR in some of their worst days.
Harvick has only been on an elite team for 5 or 6 years in his career. Like, because RCR was not an elite team. They were a good team when he was there, but I still hold that RCR its entirety has always been held up by Dale Earnhardt and Kevin Harvick. What I think about SHR is I actually think the 10 car is more important than the 4 car in signing, because at this point I think you knew that Stewart was going to take control of this one. If you're looking for the whole team to start shifting, because I do think that Chase Briscoe will be a much better driver than he's showing right now. You need to have that 10 car perform and have somebody good there. They have struck out so many times on so many good drivers, or screwed up with good drivers on their own team. They need to get the number 10 car right. It can't be a rich kid. It can't be a pay driver. It's got to be a good driver. If they got to poach someone like Zane Smith from another team, they need somebody to be like another cornerstone on that team, the way that Chase Briscoe is meant to be right now.
Yeah, right now it's not like the 10 car has much legacy. Danica Patrick and Eric Almirola. Whoa.
hey, 5th in the points in 2018.
Go Daddy and Bacon.
Yeah. What a combo.
That's an American combo.
Make a website with advertising. You're not sure what kind of company they are, and then we got Bacon.
Hey, if we could mix a Bacon commercial with the old school GoDaddy commercials, that's it wouldn't fly today, but you know what? It'd be great.
I mean, all GoDaddy'd have to do is just have Danica frying bacon in a bikini or something like that. That's what you got back then.
I don't know. Danica now is, if you've seen some of the highlights for
she ain't touching bacon.
The CTE's acting up. The CTE.
She's looking for the chemicals in the water that turn the bacon to frogs.
Hey, Eric, I don't know if you saw it. The CTE is definitely acting up now. Come on.
I'm not sure I've seen what you all have seen. I don't know. She seemed good on the Indy 500 pre-race show. I don't know. That's the last time I've seen it.
Anyways, what is your expectations for Josh Berry in 2024? Ran a poll on that. I'm going to go ahead and end it. Looks like most of you guys said he's going to miss the playoffs, but be a top 24 driver.
That's fair.
46% said that, but 31% thinks that he can be in the playoffs without a win. 19% says playoffs with a win, and I'm glad to see this. Only 3% say miss the playoffs, finishing 25 or worse.
On that note of culture, real quick, before we change subjects, I want to ask you guys, do you think it matters at all that the timing's interesting? 2021, they went from being a dominant team to Harvick was winless that year. That same year, Tony Stewart co-finds a new racing series. Tony Stewart runs off and starts a drag racing, an NHRA team. He starts running those races. He gets married. Gene Haas, we know he's also focused on Formula One. He's got big businesses that make the big money. Do you worry that the two guys whose names are on the building aren't really focused on NASCAR or aren't giving it the attention it maybe deserves. Do you think that
yes,
matters?
I thought about
That's
that.
made a difference.
I've thought about
Yes.
that. Yeah.
Yeah,
It seems
to
like
some extent.
it's not the full focus anymore. And
Look,
even
to some extent.
even nothing wrong with it. We all loved him in the booth, but Tony Stewart was in the booth a lot instead of being out there,
Maybe
helping,
that's true.
seeing what's happening on the team.
Well, and he also at the end of last year was like, I'm fine with being at any other racing series in the world except one based in the southeast of America.
Yeah,
That's right.
yeah,
He
I said
did
that
threaten to
publicly.
boycott NASCAR.
Yeah,
last
but I
fall.
mean, I'm not saying like, oh, like, they're totally not focused, but I mean, to some extent, yeah.
I just I don't know how involved Tony and Gene Haas are in the day to day, but like Brad buys into RFK, and it sounds like he's very involved. Maybe not,
Brad is, well, he's reminding me of Tony when he first became an owner driver right now.
Mm-hmm.
That's maybe a good point, and I think maybe Tony Stewart, to an extent, Gene Haas have just lost some of that focus, and that's why RFK is on the rise, and SHR could be why they're slipping. Just could.
Now, it didn't happen in this announcement. There were some people that was kind of hoping that we would also hear SHR would go to Chevrolet. I think also maybe being a Ford hasn't been their biggest help in the last few years.
No, the funniest one.
That's true.
The funniest one I saw today was, Kevin Harvick Alliance is going to come back, or incorporated or whatever. Yeah.
See, the way it looks from an outside perspective to me is Stewart has turned almost into a figurehead of his own team, and it seems like Gene Haas is making more of the decisions. I mean, if you look at the drivers that they bring on, Eric Almirola, who brings on money, then you got Cole Custer, who I believe his dad is also a business associate of Gene Haas. You have Riley Herbst, whose family has money that is also associated in some ways with Gene Haas. And then you see, whenever the factory of Ford or whoever is not wanting a driver, or they don't want to put too much towards a driver, be too difficult. Again, Kyle Larson, Kyle Busch, they go that direction, and Tony throws a tantrum out in the media. So, because he talked about on Dale Jr. Download that him or was it his own podcast? I don't know. But him and his now wife in 2020, they just like went off and did like a cross-country road trip for 4 or 5 months. That doesn't sound like somebody who is dealing with the intricacies, even if 2 of those months were under lockdown. Doesn't sound like that's someone who has his fingers in everything going on with his team the way that he used to be.
He's not as hands-on.
Yeah.
I mean, look at Brad Keselowski, man. I mean, there's a reason that team turned around like almost like
look at Jeff Gordon now.
Yeah, Gordon too.
And I mean, hey, good on Tony. He deserves.
He's at a different point in his life.
He deserves to be happy and enjoying his life. I heard a rumor that maybe him and his wife are gonna have a kid. I don't know. I guess it was just a weird rumor.
Yeah, it's BS.
BS, but hey, he's enjoying his life, do whatever he, whatever's going to make him happy at this point.
Yeah, I mean, he's just at a different point in his life. I mean, he's getting older. I mean, yeah.
There's people that rely on him.
Yeah, that too. So I mean,
that's the thing. Is it's just
which one you want to gotta choose? Gotta choose. So
or at least make sure you have the right people in place to lead SHR. And I know Greg Zipadelli's been there a long time. I mean, I trust him in a lot of ways, but I can think of like Roush. Part of their downfall, I think, was they probably left Robbie Reiser in a competition director role that didn't quite suit him longer than they probably should have. So you never know.
You know what I realized?
I
just realized something. Greg Zipadelli has followed me on Twitter for like 4 years. I should just ask him. Just be like, hey,
Adam, right now. Do it right now.
Yeah, see if he wants to come on.
Yeah. Drop a Zoom link in the DMs.
Just DM say, hey, why are you guys trash now?
No, just send the guy with the stick meme. Greg, do something,
please. Save it. Save this team.
Okay, we're acting very professional. Hey, one thing that we had on our list of things to talk about before we get off of the SHR and Josh Berry subject. Right now, that car has no sponsor. It's still believed that Busch Beer may be going towards Ross Chastain. Do we have any reckless speculations of who we think could maybe become his sponsor? One idea that's come to me is maybe the Tire Pros company could come over, but who's also coming out to me is Bass Pro Shops. They're with Junior Motorsports. They're with Josh Berry on that side, but they've also been a partner of SHR in the past because of Tony Stewart, and Johnny Morris seems to not be. He doesn't seem to be driver or team loyal because he's with JGR, he's with RCR, he's with Junior Motorsports. Maybe he wants to come back over to SHR and be with Josh Berry.
I say half the races are funded, and then the other half are funded by Gene Haas or Ford development, or Ford. Yeah.
I'm going a lot of Ford performance will be on that car.
A lot of Haas too.
It's just if they have some they said that are interested, so that's like it's hard to say which ones, but it's like if it's still, granted there's 6 months left in the year, but it seems like when we talked about the Kyle Busch thing, a lot of these sponsor deals, big or small, usually take a lot of time unless it's already been worked on for a while. So I do think there's going to be a lot of number 4 Ford performance ones, and maybe like Mobile One or somebody who's been with SHR for a while.
Yeah.
I would say watch out for like Hunt Brothers Pizza and such, because he's now a KHI client as well. So I could see some of those Kevin Harvick sponsors also.
I had
gas station pizza.
I had that at the fairgrounds, and I was not a fan.
I've never had it. I don't think I've ever.
But Eric, I have an idea for you. I mean, hey, what about your face on the Ford car? What about that?
I don't have $100,000 or whatever it costs.
I'm sure the chat would love that. Hey, chat, fund us. Fund it. Fund it.
Your super chats will power Josh Berry to victory.
There you go.
Come on, Eric. Don't you know you're a NASCAR YouTuber? You're rich.
Yeah, we're millionaires. Some people think.
Okay, well, we're getting too much craziness here.
But we're crossing over the third wall a little too much.
See,
here.
well, that's what happens when you have a bye week, NASCAR. So that's what happens.
Yeah, NASCAR, get rid of all off weekends, you lazy bums.
We have a bye week. We talked about the 4. We're talking about funding cars, and hell, even Joe Gibbs is doing different stuff now.
I'll just say this, I don't know, with the way some industry people have been acting all week, hey, might need to get rid of the bye week. It sounds like you might need to get rid of it.
No, I heard YouTubers were the problem.
What'd you say about Joe Gibbs, Jarrett? What's Joe Gibbs doing over there?
He's doing some crazy stuff, man. He's selling a minority stake in his team.
He just bought a minority stake in the Philadelphia 76ers.
Oh, hey, get him out the second round, Joe Gibbs. Get him out the second round. Get him out the second round.
I don't know. His last stint in stick and ball sports didn't exactly go too well when he was the Washington coach again.
Yeah, but he made the playoffs a couple of times. But yeah,
hang the banner.
To me, all this information that's been coming out with Joe here lately is it really seems like he's trying to set up the Gibbs family really well and moving forward. He's making a few acquisitions that's going to set them up nicely.
And I got a couple of things to say on that. So Joe Gibbs is I believe 82 years old.
Correct.
He has unfortunately lost both of his sons, or 2 of his sons, excuse me. And yeah, I mean, just like Danny said, I mean, like this is just putting the proper steps in place. And also I had also seen that Coy Gibbs, his widow, is also taking a higher role in the personnel department and stuff too. So he's at that old age and stuff. Just got to plan for the inevitable, basically, if you know what I mean.
The hard reality is we're seeing this with lots of teams. We know.
Getting up there in age, yeah.
Roger Penske has a huge group behind him at this point that we know is Tim Cindric, Austin's dad. He's a big part of that. There's lots of people involved with Penske that are going to be able to take it over, sadly, when that day comes. Jeff Gordon stepped up in a huge way of Hendrick Motorsports for, sadly, when that day comes. Now,
they can retire before they die. Like,
let's
not say that.
Okay.
We're being morbid here, guys.
I say when that day comes, but that could mean retirement or the worst. So
yeah.
God,
I'm not meaning for it to sound.
Hey, look,
I was excited about tonight, but man, don't bring the mood down.
Hey, look, I'm just being honest, man, because these cup owners are
reality.
They're old, bro. Like, I mean, there's Sam Smith in the Sam Hunt in the Xfinity series. He's 30 years old. He's like one of the youngest owners and stuff.
Yeah, these cup owners are old. Tony Stewart, you're old.
Yeah, so like, hey, there's a new generation on the up and up, I guess. But yeah.
But no, I think this makes sense. This makes sense though for Joe Gibbs from a couple different perspectives. There's obviously that perspective of, like he still owns the majority of the team. It's still a family-owned team. It's still going to be, it's called Joe Gibbs Racing. That plan is still in place potentially. But now this this does bring in another group. This brings in some other investors, some more cash potentially. Like this gives Joe Gibbs more options as he nears his retirement or however he goes about, passing his team along. But bigger than that, Joe Gibbs, when you compare him to the other major team owners like Roger Penske and Rick Hendrick and Gene Haas for that matter, Joe Gibbs doesn't have another major business helping fund his racing team. Like for Joe Gibbs right now, the race team is his major business. And with Rick Hendrick, we see this with like HendrickCars.com or Ally. He's able to utilize his real world businesses to, negotiate some B2B business to business deals with sponsorship to help get some good deals for his race team. Roger Penske does the exact same thing. Exactly. Penske does the same thing with basically all their sponsors, it feels like. Joe Gibbs has never had that luxury, but now bringing in the, what's it called? The Harris Blitzer Sports and Entertainment Group, who, they have their fingers potentially on the Washington Commanders soon, Philadelphia 76ers, I think the New Jersey Devils, I think a soccer team or two. Like they've got their fingers in all sorts of different pies. Now that opens Joe Gibbs's business opportunities up a little bit. He's got more, basically what this ultimately does, both from a succession plan point of view and also just finding sponsorship point of view, is it broadens Joe Gibbs's options. It opens up additional doors, which I think is good. I think it's smart. It catches him up in some ways with the other super team owners in the Cup Series.
Yeah. You want to hear something crazy about this whole deal and why it's such a big deal too, just outside?
What's that?
Pro Football Focus actually has an article about Joe Gibbs Racing being sold, like their stake being sold to Harris Blitzer, and how it ties into business with the NFL. So it will probably have ripples. I wouldn't be surprised if you have different NASCAR things at Washington games now. Like I would not be surprised at all.
Someone in the comments of my video the other day noted that, FedEx is expected to re-sign with Hamlin and Joe Gibbs Racing. Don't the Washington Commanders play at like FedEx Field or something?
Yes.
Isn't it the name of it? So I don't know if that had anything to do with it, but there's a potential tie-in that I'm sure FedEx is happy with.
They just need to fix the sewage at that stadium.
I've heard it's not a great stadium, unfortunately, but
it's one of the worst.
It's better than Soldier Field.
They just pay for a shiny logo. They don't pay for that part. So
yeah.
But on that subject, I don't know where it's going with that.
Well, I think with it is you still have that brand of Joe Gibbs Racing there. You're still going to have, it seems like everything in place. It might bring more sponsorship in because there's people with new age ideas coming into the sport.
Now I remember where I was going with that. So RFK Racing is now RFK because of Kozlowski. Well, originally that was Roush Racing. Then he joined with the Fenway group, and that's Roush Fenway come into it. So in a way, it's kind of similar. Only this case, they're not going to say, "Hey, we need to add in the Blitzer name into this." It's going to still say Joe Gibbs Racing.
Yeah.
JGBR.
That's
Joe
so
Gibbs Blitzer Racing.
I would probably call it just Gibbs Blitzer.
GBR.
Yeah.
Sounds like a bank name.
Get out of here, Gaunt Brothers Racing.
But no, I'm honestly interested how this will go because it does seem like they have the plan of keeping the Gibbs family involved. And it's probably making the best out of the terrible situation that family has had. But I am honestly the person I would want to know what they think about this because of the sponsorship that could be added in for this. I would love to know what Kyle Busch thinks. Like, man, if this was a year earlier.
Damn. Yeah. But hey, at least doing his thing at RCR.
You know what? I don't think he cares because he signed it. He signed a deal that set up his son. That's what he wanted.
Yeah,
that's right. Yeah, that's right. He did. But yeah.
He wanted to be dad of the year, and he did it with that.
Speaking of rich dads buying their rides,
Age driver.
Speaking of that, yeah. What the heck?
Age
That's who
driver
we're
at
talking
8 years
about.
old.
Hey, let's be real. When Brexton gets to that point, he's going to be like Ty Gibbs. I feel like
Tony Stewart was beefing with the 8-year-old. Like, yeah, you see these 8-year-olds coming up.
I would love to see Braxton Bush mouth off to Tony Stewart just because I feel like Tony would look at him dumbfounded. Like I would just want to see that.
if Keelan Harvick ever goes the NASCAR route and he's ready for a cup ride, Tony Stewart's like, nope.
No, no. I don't play favorites here.
No rich kid with a famous dad's going to buy one of my
favorites.
I'm just having a short realization here. That kid's 8 years old. By the time he could be a NASCAR driver, he got to be 18 minimum.
Yeah.
By the time I would be interviewing him, like in the sense we do this stuff, I would be 37 years old. Oh my gosh.
We'll be up there.
I'm gonna be old when that comes.
We'll be up there.
That's old.
That's old for an NBA player, I guess. I don't know.
Professional athlete.
That's old. That's old for a YouTuber. That's what it is. Old.
That's good. That is true.
It's gonna be. We'll be older than we are now.
Wait, Danny. Didn't you just talk about a YouTuber that's an old dude with a beard?
Didn't say it was always a bad thing.
That's what makes him special.
But man,
is this true? There's an 8-year-old in super late models.
You lying.
No.
Wait, really?
Yeah. There's like.
Can he reach the pedals?
How can he reach the pedals?
There are children in super late models now.
Like, I knew there were 12-year-olds. I didn't hear about 8-year-olds.
Hold on, let me look it up.
I didn't know that. I've never seen that happen at the fairgrounds. Like the youngest we have is like 14, 15, but.
Well, I don't know if it was 8, but it's like really, really young. And there's actually a big debate with a lot of people of like, should we be letting, like, there's a 12-year-old in super late models? That's
I've heard that debate. I've heard debates about like 12-year-olds and stuff. I've not heard.
Yeah, the 8-year-old though. I never heard of the 8-year-old.
Because I saw it and like this kid is a full-on child and
a full-on child.
There's no other way. I don't know how to say
I thought it was a half-on one. Sorry.
No, this isn't like Pedro where he has a stencil mustache or something. No, like it's a kid.
Vote for me.
Vote for Pedro.
Yeah.
I can't, but there are kids that are like 11, 10 years old that are starting to get into these. And I honestly, I'm like, man, if I got beat by an 8-year-old on the track,
retire.
Yeah.
I just like, you sure it's not like that the baseball player who hands him the paper, I am 12.
I'm 12. But yeah, if you get beat by an 8-year-old and super late, just go retire.
If somebody has the link to that really young kid,
send us that.
Because I know, so Tony, I think is the kid's name. Someone's saying he's 9, 8. If someone can put that link in the chat or send it to one of our Twitter accounts and like send it to mine and just like tag me in the chat. Like I swear to God, I had heard about that and it blew my mind.
That's crazy.
Well, and I think that leads a whole nother can of worms of like,
you're
gonna have a bottleneck. Like if that becomes the norm, you are gonna have a bottleneck because there are kids too young to move up to other divisions.
I just realized this. So like, let's say like
talking about this.
Let's say like an 8-year-old accidentally wrecks a 37-year-old. Does the 37-year-old go up and beat the 8-year-old up or beat up his parents?
You're finding the dad.
Yeah, we gonna fight.
Hell, at that point, with how young it is, you might be fighting the grandpa.
Oh, hey, true that. Hey, true that. Might be fighting all of them. Grandpa, the great grandpa,
multiple generations.
Yeah.
So, okay. Dad is one thing. You get anywhere close to that kid, watch out for the mom. She gonna go crazy.
Oh no, yeah, don't forget about the mom. That's right.
You're gonna have one of those tiger moms in there in racing.
the
family's golden retrievers.
No. You're gonna have one of those Chandler Smith moms. Chandler.
How long you been doing this crap?
Chandler. How did we get on this?
I don't know.
It was an off week, Jarrett.
Yeah.
That's our excuse for everything tonight.
Yeah, kind of some slack here.
We were taking a break.
Well, how about we take a super chat stage break, Danny?
There you go.
Dang, it's early for that actually, but here we go. It's really early for one of these. Let's do it.
Yeah.
Okay. Let me know when you got the counter.
I got you.
All right, NASCAR's on 24-14, starting us off tonight with $9.99. Appreciate that very much. Jarrett, on August 5th, I'll get to see Rockford Speedway. Anything I should be prepared for or don't miss while there? Eric, why didn't you go to the IndyCar street race before Chicago? Danny and Darian, hi.
Hi. Yeah, why, Eric? Why?
It's talking about the Detroit one because I live in Texas.
And it's
they were in Road America is what he means. Road
Well, he
America.
said street race. Road
No, he
America's
said
not a
street
street race.
race.
Oh, never mind. Sorry, my
And
bad.
I do like Road America too, but again, I live in Texas. Damn it, I
It's
can't just walk over there.
It's Detroit. Okay, anyway,
Yeah.
Rockford Speedway. What was the question about Speedway? Like,
Wait. He's asking him to go to Detroit and then Chicago.
Yeah, I guess just
what-
playing with fate.
What was this? What was the question about Rockford?
Anything that he should be prepared for or don't miss while there.
I would just say make sure that you have cash because they don't take card when you want to get a beer.
Dang.
Okay, there you go.
The priorities.
In a world where almost every place is cashless, you need cash. Antar Doss, appreciate the $4.99. Jarrett, pop quiz. Who was the highest percentage of winning who has the highest percentage of winning in the top 5 among active drivers? The gap between first and second is actually insane.
If we count Jimmy Johnson, Jimmy, and then Kyle Busch.
Antar Doss, $1.09. Answer. First, Jimmy, 35.8%. Second, Kyle Busch, 26.1%.
Yeah, I know my
Nice.
stuff.
Good job.
Isaac, appreciate the $2. Will NASCAR Heat 5 DLC fix Almirola best RC driver error? Oh, I guess he was the best road course racer in NASCAR Heat 5.
Don't move on. Don't even get me started about that. Move on.
I haven't even seen it. I don't. They
Well,
finally.
NASCAR Heat 5 wasn't that bad, but
Yeah, but they're charging $10 for a 2022 mod. It's
I actually just bought NASCAR 15 today on my PC.
Oh, isn't it fun?
It was pretty fun. What little bit I got to play of it. Napa Racing Fan 927, appreciate the $2. Ready for NBC to bring back the sunshine to NASCAR. I guess that was their theme song.
I like their intro now.
I
the
like
best one.
running down a dream. Oh wait, 1 minute.
David Bell, he handed out 5 gifts today. If you received a membership from David Bell, make sure you thank him for that. Also, David Bell chimed in after being a member on the channel for 3 months. He said, hope everyone has a great weekend, has a great week and weekend. David, hope you do too. David, if you're at the race this weekend, say hi to us.
We got to meet up with you, man. We got to meet up
We always like stand around Christopher Bell's area for a moment. It's like, I wonder if he's here. And then then we have to move on. Jimmy Leos, appreciate you for being a member for a month. Hi, guys. Danny caught a nice fish from last week. Yeah, last week I did catch a nice fish.
He
I just didn't catch it on game day, so that sucked.
Oh.
Jimmy Leos, appreciate the $5. Hi, guys. Did you guys watch the IndyCar and the F1 race on Sunday since there were no NASCAR race from this past weekend? No, I did not.
No, I streamed for 10 hours.
I watched some of IndyCar and I watched a few laps of F1.
I watched IndyCar and then I watched some old NASCAR race. And
I watched. Oh, go ahead. I watched Dick Pacer win a cup simulated cup race.
Spencer Purcell, appreciate you for being a member for 24 months. Off week over. Time to go all out the rest of the year.
By the way, it's
And
time.
Yeah.
We'll end on this one from Hunter Nixon Fishing. Appreciate it, $9.99. Personally, I think Josh Berry will have a Clint Boyer type career. I mean, with how little bit of, how late he is to it, I don't think that would be that bad.
That's not bad at all.
Danny, I told you guys before the show that I actually had got this put together. Let me see if I can find where I put it. But I actually put together, it's there's no sound to it because the sound would get us copyrighted. But I did go to the Trailer Races Destruction a couple weeks ago. I talked about it last week. You mind if I put up like about a minute montage of just complete redneck stupidity?
Only if you'll promise to give us some commentary over it since we don't have audio.
Yeah, if you have it on your end, it'll pop up like 5 seconds after or so. But I want to put it up here. So I went to the Trailer Race of Destruction at the Rockford Speedway, and here's all of them coming in. And there were 31. That is a hot tub full of water, by the way.
God.
And they had all these stupid things on it. And I swear there were more than 31. There were mattresses, full-on trailers. Apparently Cotton's daddy was there. There's a destruction. They broke the wall. They broke the billboards. It's the second time they've ever broke the wall. They had to stop the race too at different points because cars kept catching on fire. It was amazing. Like, look at this. Look at that. That trailer had an RV on it. This truck here is pulling another truck that's stuck on him. And by the way, they do go in a figure eight at different points. So, and here's another one who's coming in fast. This dude has an entire trailer on his truck. I love it.
Looks like a freaking tornado. No exaggeration.
Amazing.
We've got to find a local track that does this stuff.
There's some glued together over here, and I think I want to say the next clip. Yep, we see this dude who just runs right into the back of it, and believe it or not, they are actually going faster than it looks. As you see the 3-car going through there, or truck. But where is it at? Yeah, this one here, where they're all stuck, and then this idiot just comes up and just tries to launch himself off of it, and he's I cut it out, but he caught fire, and then there's the guy that won it, who was very happy. I believe he won like $2,000. So
Hey, I'd be happy just to survive that race. To be honest with you,
He won a couple $1,000, and I bet I don't even know how much he invested into this.
well, I think he's from Florida. Like he came up.
That
Florida.
explains it.
Oh, that explains it.
There were
yeah.
people from all over. I heard there was one dude from Alaska that showed up. So
Hey,
wow.
man,
Yeah.
it's famous. And this is the final one, correct?
well, yeah,
So,
yeah.
I
It's
mean,
going to be
special
gone
one, yeah.
after October.
Special one.
I have a question coming in from a anonymous person who lives in the house with me. She wants to know if they put this race on YouTube because she really wants to watch the last one.
Let me double check. I would be on the channel
Ooh.
Misfit Productions. They're the
Okay.
official channel of the Rockford Speedway. And well, I mean, they have last week's. They have it. It's
Nice.
from they actually uploaded it 8 hours ago.
Okay, cool.
22 minutes long.
Oh, that's perfect. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's perfect.
It's so dumb. I love it.
For Nashville weekend, we hang out here at my house. That might have to be something that we check out this weekend.
Yeah, I don't mind it. Yeah. I
Maybe
don't
go with
mind it.
Dave and Buster's and come back and just watch some
Yeah, I'm down with
crashing.
that.
Maybe
I'm
Top
down for
Golf.
that.
I don't know. It's just something. We'll have a whole
Well,
night of it.
Watch our idiots in cars that we end up watching for some reason.
But yeah, I just figured I'd share that while I had the chance on an off week. But yeah, that was fun. It was fun.
Oh gosh, sorry, I just got scared. My phone's going off about something, some kind of storms in the area or something.
Hey,
like that.
you know what? I heard a lot of thunder yesterday, but I haven't heard the round on the NASCAR Weekly Podcast. Jarrett, what do we have on tap for tonight? Eric, what are you doing?
I'm ducking and covering.
Oh, you're fine. You'll be all right.
Hey,
he's the tallest one. He's got to really duck.
Oh yeah,
he's
yeah.
from
True.
Texas too. They get tornadoes.
Did y'all have to do tornado shelter in place drills in elementary school?
Yep.
No, I'm from Vegas, so no, we never.
Dude,
did.
we had to go down during school because of tornado sirens going off. We're just like we're like, ah, crap, go to the halls.
I live south enough that never happened, but we definitely did drills, and I remember that, like thinking, why? I don't think a tornado's. I don't. Actually, that's not true. We do get tornadoes down here occasionally, but it's rare.
We
Very
had a tornado in January. Anyway, we're getting off track.
The lightning round.
The lightning round.
Not the tornado round.
Yeah. So the first thing is that TRD expects Truex to be back next year.
Of course.
Which
That means we can
Very
all pressure him at Nashville Superspeedway again because that's where we found out last year.
You gonna retire?
all manufacturers will represent as the official pace car at different points of the Chicago Street Race, according to J-Ski. So,
okay.
Well, I wonder, is it Brett Bodine that's the pace car driver? Is he gonna like get out of each pace car and go to a different one, or like how's that gonna work?
Probably, right? Because he's the official pace car guy. Right?
I mean, they could have two more additional ones for this one.
Well,
Yeah,
and Jack Daniels will be an official sponsor, which I have a feeling a lot of NASCAR fans will need. It's at Jack Daniels and Coke.
Yeah, I
had that last
cool.
night. It was fun.
I feel like there's got to be a driver who runs a scheme dedicated to that.
Well, also looking at some of the announcements that may be coming, Trackhouse and Chastain still are the favorites to keep, or at least land Anheuser-Busch. It's going to be really interesting to see how that ends out. This one came out. There's not much information on it, but we can mention it. NASCAR is looking, one of the countries they highlighted to expand to is India. And I saw a statistic that if they get a .02 rating on Indian TV for exhibition or anything, they would get 3 times the audience of the Daytona 500.
There's so many people. Yeah, it's such
There's
a
a lot
huge
of
country.
people.
Yeah.
See, when WWE found out that they made an Indian heritage wrestler to champion, we gotta find some way to get an Indian NASCAR driver.
Well, I have a friend who, like, his family came over from India, and when he told me he went over to visit like 10 years ago or so, he was saying how it was just wild, like being on one of those streets and how packed everything is. I'll tell you guys a bit of the stories. I don't want to get demonetized, but he was telling me stories about being over there, and it is like it sounds just fun to witness.
Everyone who watches my channel or know me on Twitter, you guys know this. I love trains. I would be so interested to see how one of those trains works, and apparently a lot of people just get onto them.
Real quick, I got a text from somebody I know that's going to be working the Chicago race that weekend. So each pace car will have a dedicated driver that stays in the car the whole weekend.
Okay.
So thank you.
Thank you.
Let's see. Justin Marks will run the number 10 for colleague in the Xfinity race at Chicago as well. There is a new console game coming out soon for NASCAR called NASCAR Arcade Rush. It will release later this year for different PlayStations, Xboxes, the Switch, and also on PC. And well, I can just tell you, it looks like it works, so it's already better than Ignition.
Yep. Already.
What I saw of it reminded me a little bit of like the Rocket League NASCAR experience, but in a racing form.
Yeah, I'm gonna get that on PC. I'm gonna play with y'all and see what it's like.
And then two more things here. Another gaming one is the new NASCAR Heat 5 DLC for 2022 is out a year and a half late. And David Reagan is selling his 1960 Ford Fairlane Andy Griffith Mayberry Sheriff car for a measly price of $28,000.
I feel like for that to be such a unique car, the Andy Griffith car, I feel like that's a low price for something like that.
Really? Yeah.
And it's like it just needs it going.
And that's it. That's the lightning round. Man, we are.
And that'll do it for this edition of the famous lightning round on the NASCAR Weekly Podcast. And now back to the show.
So speaking of David Reagan, he is not going to find himself on this week's list of the top 75 drivers.
Nice segue.
Sadly.
Where is he? Like, is he even top 200?
He won a race.
Yeah.
He won
multiple races. So he'll be.
He won a few.
200.
Yeah. I don't know. But I don't know.
There's been 200 there's been a little over 200 winners, I think, in NASCAR's Cup Series. So he should be in the top
200. Yeah, top 200.
Yeah.
There you go.
But we can start off with number 50, part of the Allison family of racing. We have Donnie Allison, of course, known for being part of the big fight in 1979, but more than just a fight. He had 10 wins over the course of his NASCAR Cup Series career, including the 1970 World 600, but he never did run a full season in NASCAR.
But for not running a full season, I mean, like just like the other guys we had, I mean, to do that during, the 60s and 70s, and to be that good consistently, whenever he did run, just shows how talented he was.
I'm a little confused. We have Darian 56. Most of us was in the low 50s and some in the high 60s. How the heck does that equal 50?
Well, the average doesn't. The average doesn't have to equal it as long as it was in that range too. And plus, some also had one or two people not have him on the list that would have also ranked higher on other people's lists.
Yeah, it's a whole formula. It's a whole formula.
I guess it makes sense.
He has all this stuff written down in his notebook, so like it's too much for me to read.
The math ain't mathing on this one to me, but
well, I mean, the next one also doesn't average 49, but we still have him in 49 because of the variation too.
Yeah, that's
a lot. The average does. If we did that, we wouldn't have a number 1 or 2 pick because the top average has a 3 average, and
yeah.
And there's a whole lot of factors that factor into that. But Donnie Allison, though, I mean, like, yeah, I had him the highest though for the reasons I just said. So yeah,
well,
I just wish I wish you won more crown jewel races, but still 10 wins.
Well, I feel like people forget that he was the one in 79 who was running for the win. Everyone thinks it's Bobby Allison.
No, it's Donnie Allison. No, Bobby just stopped and just to check on his brother, and then they started
joined in.
Yeah, just joined in, I guess. Yeah.
You're fighting. Let me hop in on that.
Yeah. It's silly.
But yeah, I definitely a guy I think is fitting. If not top 50, still around that range though.
Yep,
and definitely top 75 in my opinion.
Which I gotta think about this. Now we're hitting into a key number here, top 50 drivers, because, originally it was the 50 greatest drivers. So now we have him as our 50 greatest drivers in the Cup Series. So,
Yep. And the second member of the Alabama gang to be on this list so far.
Now, after Donnie Allison is a former NASCAR Cup Series champion, the 1992 champion to be exact, Alan Kulwicki.
Thunderbird.
Yep. Known for the Hooters Thunderbird. 5 wins over the course of his really too short NASCAR career. The 1986 Rookie of the Year. And in terms of non-NASCAR accolades, I think it's worth noting that he is the 1981 Slingers National winner. But Alan Kulwicki, definitely a career cut, very much too short. I had him at 50th. The chat had him 46th, really close to where he's landed. Eric, very, very high, thinking of him, had put him 31st. Jarrett and Darren had him in their top 60s.
Yeah, I said Thunderbird. I meant Underbird, the Underbird. I mean, he was a true underdog, man. The 1992 champion. Nobody had him pegged to win the championship that year, but I mean, he always, held his own. I mean, 5 career wins, but he was extremely consistent enough to win the 1992 Winter Cup Series championship. It just sucks he really didn't get to enjoy it, too long afterwards. Unfortunately, tragically passed away in the plane crash in '93. But overall, an amazing career.
People, I think, forget too that he had a huge comeback. Now, granted, a lot of it was Davey Allison and Bill Elliott collapsing at the end of the season. But with 6 races remaining, he was 278 points out of the lead.
And he thought he was done too. In the documentary, like his crew was like, "Yeah, I think we're done." But his crew, I mean, they were just like, "No, we're still in this. We're still in this." They pulled it together in that 6 race stretch. And I mean, we're still talking about that. Excuse me. We're still talking about that 1992 championship as like one of the greatest championship races seasons, still in 2023.
Well, it was used as justification initially for the first iteration of the chase.
And here's something interesting too. I don't know if a lot of people notice. I found it out when I was doing my research on Junior Johnson's racing team for one of the Rise and Fall videos. Alan Kulwicki actually had Maxwell House Coffee secured for the sponsorship when he was going to go start his own team. But Junior Johnson wanted him to come race for him so bad because he saw the talent that Alan had. And when he told him no, Junior Johnson went behind Alan's back and actually went and stole that sponsorship away for his own team.
I think
because Junior didn't want to be he didn't want to be told no, and ultimately Alan Kulwicki ended up beating Junior's team.
Got the last laugh in the end.
I want to chime in here because I have Kulwicki way higher than everybody else in this Zoom call at the moment. I saw the chat was pointing that out. And I'll admit, first and foremost, I'm slightly biased because as a lifelong Matt Kenseth fan, Alan Kulwicki, I think for many was seen as one of those early benchmarks of, the great Wisconsin short track racing culture. He kind of helped in many ways put that on the map. And obviously, y'all have already hit on it, that underdog championship in 1992. Someone in the chat just mentioned, Slap Shoes, our friend, has a great video highlighting how, Kulwicki wins as an owner driver, caused a lot of other great drivers to think they could do it too. And nobody did. Nobody could do it the same way Alan Kulwicki did. And, maybe I have him a little high because I'm biased. I do value winning that championship. And of course, that 1992 race, the impact of that race is still talked about, felt today. But I guess I'm also a prisoner of kind of the idea of like the unfulfilled potential. Obviously his career, life, everything was tragically cut short. So I'm left sitting here thinking about maybe what could have been, what more he could have done. But even what he did and the amount of time he had to do it, I think, my list is largely based on who had the greatest impact, who won the biggest events, the greatest accomplishments. And I think for that reason, Kulwicki, maybe 31's a little high. I'll give myself that, but top 40, I give Alan Kulwicki a nod. He also popularized or maybe he invented. I know he popularized the Polish victory lap that drivers still utilize today.
That's right. What if scenario I've always thought about is what if Matt Kenseth drove for Alan Kulwicki instead of Roush Racing? That'd be cool.
I always questioned, would Kulwicki have adapted? Because Kulwicki always wanted to do it his way.
Yeah, true that. Yeah,
those other drivers proved that going as a single car driver owner would not work. He might have just been a one and done. Like that. That's the mystery of Kulwicki.
And to be fair, he was doing good with Ford when they had the Thunderbird. When as the years go on, they get away from Thunderbird, they go to Ford Taurus. Who knows if he would have been able to still find that same success over the years?
I would have been able to keep pace with Roush, because Roush was the only team really in the late '90s that could keep up with the Evernham.
Yeah, there was a reason that Penske got away from Ford because they knew they couldn't keep up the Roush engines.
Yeah, but you know what? Even though those are, what if scenarios, one thing that isn't in question, Alan Kulwicki being one of the greatest drivers ever.
Indeed. Moving on from Alan Kulwicki at number 48, we do not have the driver to 48, Jimmy Johnson. We have Speedy Thompson at number 48, the 1957 winner of the Southern 500. He had 20 wins over the course of his NASCAR Cup Series career, and he's one of the pioneer drivers of his career spanning from 1950 until 1971. A very long, ultimately for one of the pioneer drivers, lasting 21 years over his NASCAR career.
Yeah, 20 wins and 21. I mean, hey, not bad. Southern 500 winner, and also a awesome name, Speedy Thompson.
I mean, you don't get much better than that.
Yeah, and that longevity as well. I think I looked it up. He made less than 200 starts officially, but to win 20 races, that ratio is great. But to race for over a decade, like to make your start in the 50s and still be racing in the 60s and on, and I think back in those days that probably felt kind of uncommon. I think for a lot of drivers, feels like we've talked on this list about a lot of great drivers who had 5 years and then a horrible crash, ended their career early, or so.
The thing is that Thompson, while he did not race in '72 before he had passed away, he could have raced longer. So when he died, he was 45. He had a heart attack in a racing crash, at least is what I've seen as the cause of his death. He could have probably raced. Now, and this wasn't in NASCAR, but he probably could have raced in NASCAR another 5-10 years, knowing how drivers raced in their 50s back then. So he is another one that I think could have definitely been higher on the list because it was during a late model race at Metrolina. But looking at his career, I mean, just sporadic starts, and you look at how many times in those starts he still was top 20, top 10, top 5, getting wins. And he was a short track ace. I see one at Concord, Hickory, did get a win at Charlotte. I don't know if it was I don't think it was a 600. Might have been. But yeah, and plus just again the awesome name.
Yeah, for sure. But yeah, Speedy Thompson. Yeah, number 48 seems like the right place to be.
Yeah. So moving on from Speedy Thompson, another fun name is number 47, Fonty Flock. 19 wins over the course of Flock's career. He's a 1952 Southern 500 winner, and he finished second in the points in 1951 with his first win also coming at Langhorne Speedway over in his NASCAR Cup Series career.
That was a crazy speedway.
If I'm not mistaken, I believe Fonty Flock, he was in that first official NASCAR race, their inaugural season, race one.
So.
He was around. And the Flock family, of course, was a well-known moonshine family, or well-known for running moonshine. So they were like the textbook. When you think like NASCAR's roots, I feel like you have to think about the Flock family. And Fonty fits right in, winning, how many wins did you say? 19, I think. I mean, he was legit. He was a great driver on real back roads and racetrack roads. I mean, I think so.
Yeah. So looking at he was in that first NASCAR season, and he finished second in that first race. Ever.
Interesting.
Wow.
Nice.
I can't remember who he finished second to. I want to say it was Jim Roper. That's who won the first race.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, I mean, he finished second in that race. You want to hear something crazy? How much money do you think he won in that first race?
$20.
Oh gosh.
Finished second.
50 cents.
Come on, guys. Give him
all right. $100.
Any other guesses?
$300.
Some new boots.
$1,000. So we have paid people for winning in iRacing for us more than Fonty Flock won in his first ever NASCAR race. The winner got $2,000.
Okay. Damn.
It's just amazing, the different world. But but without drivers like him, we don't have
How much could you build a car for back then?
I mean, gas was well under $1, so
Hmm.
I would assume that would
But
probably cover a lot of it.
the parts to build it still not cost a lot?
I think a lot of stuff was cheaper back then.
Yeah.
But
I just
I guess also back then you really just went to a dealership, got a car, and you made a few adjustments to it.
And I had him like the highest out of us. I had him 38th just because of Eric's earlier point. Just like, I mean, we think of NASCAR's roots, you think of like, the Flock family instantly. It's like without them, like, there isn't a NASCAR. So thank you.
I'm surprised. Me and the Chad actually had him lowest of 52nd.
Hmm.
Hey, at least you had him on.
Eric was right on the dot. And Danny
mean?
was one spot off. So you guys were like the closest to getting what it would end up being.
Yeah, definitely. Moving on from Fonte at number 47, we have a guy who honestly, it's a shock that he even got to make it to be this good because in 1961 he was banned for life by NASCAR, a ban that only lasted 4 years. Curtis Turner, 17 wins over the course of his NASCAR Cup Series career, including the 1956 Southern 500. He also won the very first race held at Rockingham Speedway, and in most people's eyes, he was the first true NASCAR superstar.
And we have proof of that.
He was also the first NASCAR driver to be on the cover of Sports Illustrated.
Yeah.
And speaking of that, for those listening and then those watching who can see it, this is the cover. This is the first NASCAR driver on the cover of Sports Illustrated. He was superstar, known as a partier. And this Sports Illustrated came out on February 26th, 1968 for 40 cents. That's how much you could buy it back then. But I put him way higher than everybody. I personally think that he is one of the most underrated drivers in NASCAR history. When he would race, he would always be going up front for wins. He like we said, he was the first real superstar. He was Tim Richmond before Tim Richmond was there. This magazine has an article about him that they would party like all week long, and the only time he stopped was to go race, hungover, and then come back and party some more for the rest of the week. There would be tracks would announce he was racing and sell out, and if he didn't show up, that almost the entire grandstand would empty out because he wasn't racing there.
Yeah, and
That's insane.
And Jared just showed proof that he was truly the first superstar because he was the first driver or NASCAR driver to be on the cover of Sports Illustrated. Just NASCAR.
First NASCAR driver, I believe.
Okay. But yeah, no, that's historic, and yeah, he was a major draw back in those days. Yeah.
When I was in North Carolina a couple months ago, I stopped by the North Carolina Auto Racing Hall of Fame right there in Mooresville. So if you're in North Carolina, you know what I'm talking about. And they have on display, I believe it's his Southern 500 winning car from 1956, the Ford Purple Hog, and it looks so cool. I'm sure it's been like touched up, if not completely restored. I don't know, but it looks so cool. So I recommend if you're in the Charlotte area to go check that out.
For
sure.
God, I want to say he was also in the lumber business, and this isn't this is kind of stuff outside, but I'm a big Curtis Turner fan. But I can't remember what the name of the satellite was, but he was actually involved in making one of the satellites that the Kennedy administration sent up into space.
Whoa.
They're like in the design phase. He also was the co-founder of Charlotte Motor Speedway. Without Curtis Turner, NASCAR does not form into what it is today. And I feel like he's been overlooked way too much, and I will die on that hill.
Yeah, I mean, the Charlotte's the central hub of racing now because largely because of him. Wow.
Now, he did kind of get screwed over in that, but we'll
gloss
I
over
didn't know
that.
Yeah. No, it wasn't anything of his own doing, really. It was more the SMI side.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah.
Say less. But he's 46 on our list. One of the greats.
That
first ever superstar.
That wraps up drivers 50 through 46. Donnie Allison, Alan Kowicki, Speedy Thompson, Fonte Flock, and Curtis Turner rounds out all we've got for this week's rendition of our top 75 drivers.
I see Jupiter Rain in the chat says, "Where's Kyle Larson? Is he in the top 20?" You'll have to wait and find out. He might be on this list.
We are not there yet.
I will say, I won't say any names, But I did finish all the graphics for it, so I know, everyone that's set out and ready to go. You'll definitely, there's a few people on next week's list that have raced when a lot of our viewers have watched.
Yes.
Ooh.
Yes.
Yes.
More recent drivers.
They're at least, I would
Ty
say.
Gibbs.
Oh, totally.
I didn't say that. Somebody else said that.
Oh my gosh, sorry. I just got distracted, and I gotta call this out. Friend of the podcast, Elijah Burke. He just got engaged today. Congratulations to him and Carlene. Carlene also runs the Lionel Racing social media accounts, and Claudia just showed me how he proposed. He rigged up a Brad Keselowski diecast and put the ring in where the engine is, and acted like something was wrong with the diecast. Turns it around, and that opens it up, ring inside a diecast. That is
awesome.
That is so appropriate. He works for RFK. She does the Lionel Racing stuff. That's awesome.
That's cool.
That's
Wow.
awesome.
That's great. I love that.
That's one of the best engagement stories I've seen in a while. That's pretty cool.
That's
Yeah.
clever.
Yeah. No, congrats, man.
But
That's
congrats to Elijah and Carlene.
Congrats.
I'll probably definitely have to say congrats to him in person by seeing
Oh,
this
yeah,
weekend.
for
Speaking of this weekend, Nashville Superspeedway, the four of us, we will be there.
Mhm.
Some weekend notes for Nashville Superspeedway. One, Noah Gragson has been cleared of all of his concussion protocols and will return to a 42 car this weekend. Another note, Carl Edwards is set to make an appearance this weekend. He is, I believe, the winningest driver in Nashville Superspeedway history with, I think, like 3 wins in the Xfinity Series. I don't remember if he ever won in the Truck Series, but at least 3 wins in the Xfinity Series. So I think that puts him as the winningest driver at Nashville Superspeedway. So that's why they're honoring him.
They helped give him the moniker of Concrete Carl.
Concrete Carl, it added into it. So definitely, he got a few wins at Bristol too and Dover. So definitely really good on the concrete tracks. Speaking of this race, the Cup Series race is the Ally 400. This is a 1/3 mile track, so this is going to be a 300 lap event. Stages, we have 90 laps, 95 laps, 115 laps. Start time is at 7 o'clock p.m. Eastern time, 6 o'clock p.m. local time here in Nashville when it'll be starting. Coverage not on Fox anymore. We are on NBC. And radio coverage will be on the Performance Racing Network, PRN. They have all the SMI tracks, so they will be having the radio broadcast this weekend. Weather this weekend. Right now, we have a high of 89 degrees, pleasant conditions of clouds and sun. 25% chance of rain is what Jared has here. But me being a local, I have more access to local weather around here. I'm a little worried because right now, my app is saying for Sunday a 35% chance of AM showers. But the thing I'm more worried about where this race starts in the evening, it's saying for the evening, scattered thunderstorms during the evening, becoming more widespread overnight. Storms may contain strong, gusty winds, looking about a 70% chance of rain Sunday night with AM thunderstorms expected for Monday. So we could very well see storms starting and impact this race going into the evening.
I've never personally covered a Monday race, so that'd be interesting.
I will not be covering a Monday race. I'm sorry. The Xfinity Series race is the Tennessee Lottery 250. This is a 188 lap race. Stages are 45 laps, and then 98 laps in stage 3. This race is set to start at 3:30 p.m. Eastern time, 2:30 p.m. local time, with this race being on, get ready for this one, the USA Network, with radio coverage on the Performance Racing Network. And for Saturday, weather is looking great for Saturday. We have a high of 90 degrees, partly cloudy, and only an 8% chance of rain. The defending winner of this race is Justin Allgaier. And then for the Truck Series race, it is the Rackley Roofing 200. This is a 150-lap race. Your stages are 45 laps, 50 laps, and 55 laps for stage 3. The start time for this one, 8 o'clock p.m. Eastern time, 7 o'clock p.m. local time, with coverage on FS1 and radio coverage on MRN. And the weather for Friday is a high of 81 with scattered showers predicted that day, 40% chance of rain. We'll see what ends up happening on Friday. Defending winner of this race 2 times is Ryan Preece. Ryan Preece will not be in the Truck Series race this year, though.
He would have been
Darian,
an automatic victory if he was.
I would have had him for sure.
Yeah.
So chat, don't accidentally pick him. Darian, who's Vegas saying is to be favored this weekend at Nashville?
Well, you know, I feel like Vegas hasn't really been paying attention to the season much because they got Kyle Larson at plus 550. I mean, he's the favorite, but I mean, checkers were records this year. You know what I mean? I mean, we're almost halfway, so figured he'd be lower, but nope. And then we have Martin Truex Jr. and Kyle Busch both at plus 750 apiece. And then at plus at plus 850 apiece, we have William Byron and Denny Hamlin. As for the best of the rest, also at plus 850 is Chase Elliott, and then Ryan Blaney at plus 900, Ross Chastain at plus 1100, Christopher Bell at plus 1300, and Tyler Reddick at plus 1600. As for the famous underdog segment, Alex Bowman, Danny, your boy, Alex Bowman is plus 3,000. Brad Keselowski plus 4,500. Ty Gibbs plus 5,000. Chris Buescher plus 8,000. And nope, I kid you not, this is not a joke. They have Todd Gilliland at plus 100,000. So if you want to put down a bet for like a top 5, maybe, just for the hell of it, hey, you can win a lot of money if things go his way. So we'll see what happens about that. And I just realized too, we didn't read the fantasy standings last week, did we?
No, we didn't.
No, okay, so I'll just go over those really quick. Hold on. Damn it. Give me a second. Accidentally clicked on the wrong thing. Oh, there we go. There's a fantasy standings. As for the NWP Fantasy League, Sean 48 NY is the points leader over Trevor Sports 98. In third is the NASCAR Bear. And then tied for P4 is Polish Victory Lap and Danny B. Wife. Good job, Claudia. Good job. She's always consistently up there. And then as for NWP Fantasy League 2, we have JC underscore 43, Race Roar 48, 42 Larson 5, Common Chase Elliott. And then at number 5, we have Hot Wheels. So yeah, thank you guys so much for playing. And now to the main event.
Just getting into the pick points. The leader of the pick points is the chat, with 3 Cup wins, 3 Xfinity Series wins, and 2 Truck Series wins. They have 301 points. In second is Eric, 6 points back with 2 Cup wins, 3 Xfinity Series wins, 1 Truck win. I am in third. I'm 49 points back, no Cup wins, 2 Xfinity Series wins, and 2 Truck wins. Jarrett is fourth, minus 52 back with 1 Cup win, 3 Xfinity wins, and 1 Truck win. Darian is Basement Boy, minus 57, 0 Cup wins, 4 Xfinity Series wins, and 1 Truck win.
I don't want to talk about it. Tyler Reddick, thanks a lot, man. Appreciate it. Really appreciate it. And Larson, too. Really appreciate it, too, bro. Well, I jinxed Larson, so never mind.
So, chat, you're still last, but go ahead and be thinking about who you want to be the truck winner. Eric, who do you think will be the truck winner?
I'm not too worried about where I stack up against the chat. It's a long season, and I'll admit I've been slacking off on my picks. I've not been putting in the necessary research the past few weeks. If those of you watch my channel, you'll notice I haven't been posting those fast forecast shorts the past month or so. Just got too busy, unfortunately. Hadn't had the time to put into them. I shouldn't make excuses. I've just been lazy, and it's affecting me here on the NASCAR Weekly Podcast. I'm not putting forth the effort I should be. That all changes this week. Corey Heim wins the truck race. It's Heim time, baby.
I'm dead.
Heim time didn't work out too good for everyone last time, so I'm not going with Heim time. I'm going with Christian Eckes to win this weekend at Nashville.
I'm going with the truck that has been fourth or better in both races, whether it be the driver in it or not. Darian, I think you know who I'm going to pick based on that smile there. I'm going Zane Smith. That 38 truck has been bad fast, and if it wasn't for Ryan Preece, I think he might have won both of the last 2 races there.
So actually, Jarrett, I was laughing at this comment from Marky Mark. He says, Darian looks surprised that he's in last, LOL. And I was like, wow, well, thank you very much. But nah, so I'm gonna go with Zane Smith as well. Please, Zane Smith, help me.
The chat is following you guys. Following the Basement Boys, going with Zane Smith.
Yeah. Hey, follow me. They're about to lap me.
Yeah, I'll say I'm following them. How about that?
All right. So for the Xfinity Series win, Eric, who do you got?
For the Xfinity Series, I'm going with the car that dominated the last concrete track the Xfinity Series raced at. I think it's the last concrete track. Dover was the last concrete track? I think it was the last concrete track.
Yes.
The 19 car, which will this week be driven by Ty Gibbs.
Everyone who's picking Ty Gibbs, say aye.
Aye.
Wow.
We all got Ty Gibbs.
Yeah.
That was when I started looking at the list. It was like Ty makes the most sense. Out
Yeah,
of this list.
he was the first driver that stood out, and I didn't
It's
really see
like-
anybody else.
It's like I don't remember him being up there last year, but I'm sure he did fine. He's going to do good this year. He's going to win.
And it's well, actually, I don't know. Actually, never mind. I don't think the chat's picking Ty. Oh no.
Oh, we kind of got a close one between the 7 and the 19. Let's watch this for a second. Let's watch this.
Oh.
Take a look at what they're doing.
Take a look at what they did.
All right, I'm going to do a poll.
Yes, IDK. Gibbs is racing Saturday. Yes. No, Eric Almirola is not racing on Saturday. IDK.
All right. Well, while we do that, who's gonna suck?
Oh, let's get into that.
Cup race.
Who's gonna suck, Eric?
I kind of just want to just take your pick. I feel like I picked this guy too much this year. I feel a little bad, but I've been picking on Penske. I'll go Cindric.
All right, I'm not picking on Penske. I'm picking on SHR, and I'm saying Chase Briscoe with my suck pick.
I better get this out again because even though these cars looked great, he keeps running bad there. Not this guy, different diecast. I almost picked out Kevin Harvick. No, I don't know where the hell I put it. Alex Bowman.
Hey, to be fair, he's crashed out of every Nashville race, so I don't blame you.
Yeah, and I also picked Alex Bowman as well for that same reason.
And the chat. Who are they
Looks
picking?
like I see a couple for Briscoe.
Just give him one of them. Who cares?
Yeah.
It ain't for points anyway. It don't matter.
I see some 42s. Just give him Gregson, I guess. Give him
All right.
Gregson. Why not?
Oh, here,
There
find
you
it. Found it. There you go.
There it is. There it is. All right.
And I think they might have picked their Xfinity winner.
Oh yeah.
I'll wait till they've got at least 105 votes.
Okay.
Okay.
That's a good one.
I don't think even if the next 5 people voted for
No,
one,
it's at
the one option, I
101.
don't think it would overcome the gap.
Yeah, it's close. So yeah,
I've still set the number.
it's yeah,
Okay, there it
105.
is.
There it is. There we go. 56%.
Yep. Stop the count.
Off the count. But yeah, now dark horse, Eric.
My dark horse for the Cup race, I imagine other people will talk about this guy, so I'll let them talk about it. I don't want to stomp on their pick. I'll say Ryan Preece though.
That's a good one. I really should have thought about that one. But my Cup underdog is who I've got winning on Saturday, Ty Gibbs.
McDowell supremacy. Michael McDowell has been quietly consistent, top 15-ish on speed at Nashville, and I think he capitalizes on that. The summer of McDowell begins.
Yeah. Spencer Purcell in the chat says, "We just lost the lead because of you, Chad."
I gotta have a little more faith in Justin Allgaier.
Yeah.
Didn't he win last year?
Well, hey, they went with Zane Smith, so
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So my underdog, Ty Gibbs, he's gonna have extra track time on Saturday, and is gonna greatly benefit him on Sunday.
Okay, well, I expected somebody else to say Preece. So my reasoning was he's dominated trucks here. I figure at least some of that's got to carry over
Yeah.
the Cup. Like, yeah.
A little bit.
dark horse for a chat. I'm gonna give him Bubba. I've seen 23 a lot.
Yeah.
I'm
All
gonna
right.
give Bubba for the underdog. Eric, who's going to
Yes.
win?
And now, Eric, for the main event. Who's gonna win? Who's gonna win at Nashville?
I went with a little bit of a wild card for my truck pick. I think I picked a pretty heavy favorite in Xfinity. For Cup, I'm gonna go checkers or wreckers. I think Kyle Larson wins it. Hendrick has been the team to beat here the last 2 years. Larson specifically has finished 1st and 4th. So I'm going with Young Money.
Bear with me on this. We have seen Hendrick win this one 2 years in a row with 2 different drivers. We're going in order of number. 5 won it the first year, 9 won it the second year, 24, William Byron, I say will win it this year. Alex Bowman will win it next year. They had a 4-year contract for Nashville Superspeedway, and out you go when Bowman wins. We go to the fairgrounds.
I like
love
that.
that.
I love that reasoning.
Yes.
I'll give some reasoning for why I agree with that pick. The first year they went there, Kyle Larson wins it. Second year, of course, Chase Elliott. Both of those were the fastest and the best drivers that year for Hendrick Motorsports. I think the trend continues with William Byron. I mean, we see it in the points right here. It's going right underneath me as we speak. William Byron first in points with 3 wins.
I'm going to stay in the Hendrick Motorsports camp as well, but I'm going with the odds-on favorite. I mean, he's been checkers or wreckers. Maybe this weekend will be checkers. Kyle Larson.
Chad's looking very Larson oriented.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of 5 and not a lot of everything else.
Yeah. All right.
So
Fair enough.
Give him the 5.
Hey, Truex won Dover, which is a concrete track this year.
That is true. That is true. But
I don't really want to steal him on the Truex because Truex is a good pick.
Didn't he beat Larson? Who did he beat? I can't remember now.
Oh, at Dover?
Yeah.
Wasn't it Chastain, I think, closing in on him?
Oh, well, yeah, Chastain.
Yeah. It was Chastain. Because he earlier in the race he dumped Eric's boy there.
Funny, none of us ever really picked Chastain to win anymore, but mainly because he just doesn't close.
He doesn't win.
I think he's got one top 10 since the talk.
Yeah, the talk.
I think you have a new talk and say just go do good.
The talk. Yeah. Hendrick walked in. Son, we need to talk.
And so do you know how wins get made?
Clean driving.
Not how you're doing it.
Oh no.
Sloppy.
Protective driving.
New talk for
practice safe racing.
Yeah, safe racing. Protective driving.
New talk. Walk in and say, "Are you winning, Russ?"
Son, this is your steering wheel.
Oh, this is the gas. This is the brake.
Son, don't think with your gas pedal.
Ross, there are times when a young racer turns into a man.
But I just realized something. We are just past an hour and 30 minutes. Oh my gosh,
This is going to be our shortest show of the year, guys.
Yeah, by far. Yeah, by far.
And you know what? For y'all that are listening on Spotify in about 12 hours or so, it's going to be the shortest one ever because of the way we cut it down a little bit for y'all.
Is it going to be under an hour, maybe?
It's going to be about an hour.
Yeah, around an hour.
Give
or
take.
For sure. Yeah,
maybe a little over. I don't know. Well, we'll see how long these super chats go.
So
our monologue.
So we've got enough time to talk about our favorite chicken again.
No.
We going to Hattie B's this weekend, boys?
Hey, Darian, I actually had Cane's today.
Oh, what'd you think?
Well, I love Cane's. So it was nice to have it locally finally.
Yes. It's
right.
Great.
Get to the super. I don't want to be here till 9:30 tonight.
Fine. And figure out where we left off at. Okay, I left off with Hunter. People without an E at the end, $2. Appreciate that. SHR should go back to Chevy. Need to make a change. Well, a lot of people was thinking that. Marky Mark, appreciate $2. Woo wee, ready to go racing again. Yes, sir. We're going racing. Woo woo.
Yep.
Palm Tree 82, appreciate the $5. Darian, are we gonna go for 10 hours tonight? No, we're not even gonna get 2 hours. LOL. And also, Eric, did you hear yourself in that awesome SHR announcement video? Video hyped me up.
That was cool. Yeah, really well edited video by the Stuart Haas team. I think that's freaking awesome. When they use little sound bites like that, that's hilarious. So that was cool.
And a Daily Downforce article made it in.
I noticed. Yeah, a little Daily Downforce cameo as well.
Moving on up.
Rowdy Every Point, appreciate $2. Iceberg video, you missed KFB 20,000 career lap sled.
Well,
I don't know.
With historical moments, I said I was going for 5, and I didn't want to go for the ones everyone would talk about.
Yeah. Groovy Goose, appreciate it, $9.99. My take, it seemed like SHR delayed signing developing talent. In 2018, they signed older drivers, Boyer and Almirola, when other teams were going younger at the time. Could that be hurting them now? Yeah, that was a short-term loss for Hendrick, but it's a long-term gain for him, in my opinion.
Yeah.
I'd have to go back and look at who would have been available to SHR in like 2018, 2019. Because like obviously like Chase Elliott was going to go through the Hendrick system. Byron was going through Hendrick at that point. Bowman was going to replace Dale Jr.
Think about contracts around that time, maybe a little before. Kyle Larson. Kyle Larson has always been on Stewart's radar.
Yeah.
Was Larson, what kind of deals was he on with Ganassi? Was it like a 1-year deal?
Well, because he was there from 14 to 19, and 20, 14 to 20, and 20 would have been his last year no matter what. I believe it was like 3 to 4 year deals. Right around that middle of the decade or so. And if it was even 5 around that time, they could
They
have
could have swung for the fence. That's possible.
History would be totally different. Yeah.
2017, 2018 was when 2017 is when we saw Bubba fill in for Almirola. He was in the Ford program. That could have been someone they could have went with back then.
Yeah.
That's a good point. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
To be fair, though,
They got
Reddick.
Suarez though.
They could have poached Reddick.
Oh yeah, true.
I think if SHR had won a championship, I think that veteran gamble would have been worth it. Because as is, like we're acting like they made a mistake. 2018, they were all in the champion or all in the round of 8. They were great in 2018, 2019, 2020. It's just hurting them now, and it stings because they didn't win a championship in those years.
They were in win now mode, whereas Hendrick was in
rebuild.
Win. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it was a soft rebuild because I mean Chase Elliott was still top 5 to 6 driver even when Hendrick was at its worst.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I mean, Chase was close to winning races his rookie year. So
yeah.
And also don't forget Daniel Suarez was on the team for a year and then they just let him go.
To be fair, Suarez never really performed before Trackhouse. Not on a good level, at least.
In Cup.
That's fair.
Yes, in Cup.
Alex Luff, appreciate the $10 just to donate some dough to fund Eric's sponsorship for the 4. Well, technically it would be Danny B sponsorship if you're donating here, but Joseph Knuckles, appreciate the $5. Race against adults since I was 7. I have been threatened to be whooped by adults before. Oh God.
Damn. See, I told you because racing's expensive. They don't play.
Well, I guess if an adult's going to whoop you, it'd be more like how your parents would whip you, I guess. But
ooh.
Ross Crashtain, appreciate the $5. If there are 8-year-olds and super lates, it's time for me to give up on the dream.
Damn. Yeah.
If you can't get started that early, you're done.
Imagine being past your prime at 12 years old.
Damn. I should have started racing back in 2006.
It's like you're going into middle school. Mom, I think I want to race. Nope, kid, you missed your prime.
Yeah.
You should have told me when you come out the womb.
Yeah. I could have started saving.
Jared, don't you know you're already 8 years old? It is too damn late for you. Sit on the side.
Here's your AARP card. By the way, I packed your lunch for school.
Oh, cool, Uncrustables. Not for me.
Well, I gotta look up what this. Okay. Old Jacob Houge, appreciate the 20 Norwegian krones.
Wow.
Appreciate the 20 Norwegian krones. How many wins do we think MTJ is getting this year? He has 1 already. I could see.
Already.
Oh, does he? Yeah, it does have 2.
Yeah, Sonoma.
I could see him getting 1 more. I'll call it 3.
I'll say 4 as well.
Well, he also won the Clash, so
screw it. 6.
Oh,
6 more or 6 total?
6 total.
Okay.
Now, why not 6 more? I don't care.
Eric has gone back to 2017.
Oh okay. Yeah, I was like, what was I doing in 2017? Oh, you mean Truex was doing in 2017?
Yeah. Ross Crashtain, appreciate the $5. Are we really not going to mention that NASCAR arcade car looks like a BMW? It does not look like a stock car. I will say that.
I think he tagged us in that. Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't look anything like NASCAR in my opinion.
Some of the cars look like one kind of supposed to look like the car tomorrow with the wing. I saw they're inspired by real generation NASCARs, which is kind of cool. But
it's like NR Thunder.
Like I compared it to Rocket League. Rocket League, the cars at least look like they do in NASCAR a little bit. I meant more in like the sizing of it and the way it looks like they drive a little bit. Mm-hmm. But it's in like a futuristic arcadey world. It's just a fun racing game. It's not supposed to be realistic. So
I just wish it wasn't $50. That just seems pricey for a kart racing game in this day and age. I don't know. Maybe that's just me.
We'll see if it's worth it. We'll see.
Hey, for NASCAR fans, just be happy you get something. So, Jupiter Rain, appreciate the $2. Who is the most overrated driver ever? Chase Elliott?
Whoa!
What?
No, guys, come on.
You're trolling.
Yeah,
you're trolling. Appreciate $2 though.
Man, it makes me feel nauseous with that bad of a comment.
Okay, if I really have to answer this one, you know what? Screw it. Casey Mears, how did he get a Hendrick ride?
Who's friends with Jimmy and Jeff.
Yeah, nah, that's how it works.
Yeah.
We were really one mediocre driver away from having Jeff Gordon, Jimmy Johnson, Dale Jr., and Kyle Busch all in one team.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Casey Mears kind of stopped that. I'll have to say that too, Casey Mears.
Yeah. No offense, Casey, but still.
I love how he wants to come back to NASCAR to like hit. Was it 500 start? What does he want to? What number?
I think it's
something like that. Yeah.
NASCAR's on 24-14. Appreciate the 499. Eric, is Chicago your first street race event you're attending? I went to 2021 IndyCar Nashville, and street course had worse view than any road courses they had been to. I will agree. I went to the IndyCar race at Nashville, and you couldn't see much at all.
Yeah.
No, this will be my first street race, but from everything I understand, you don't go to a street race to get a great view of the track, and most road courses you can't get a really good view of the race. I loved Road America when we went there a couple of years ago, but you kind of just pick a spot and that's it. Wait 2 minutes.
You're in a park, basically. That's what you're doing there.
Yeah, get to walk around and stuff. It's fun.
I'm excited that Lou Malnati's is going to have like concession stands there at Chicago. I'm looking forward to that. I don't know how that's going to work because a deep dish pizza doesn't usually take like an hour to make. So how are they going to have enough of that?
Oh, hey, taste test.
Is it going to be like sitting out for a long time?
You don't understand Chicago and their super pizza, okay? So just hold your break there, Texas.
I kind of forgot that Lou Malnati was a real pizza place, a real pizza person, because it's become a character that Civ Ryan does in the OCRP
You're
world.
damn straight it is, Danny. You're damn straight, all right? Don't disrespect the Chicago pizza.
Austin Blanch, I appreciate the $4.99. Hey guys, here's a quick discussion. If you had to build your perfect 3-man NASCAR commentary booth, who's in it? Love y'all. Bye.
Thank you.
We've done this before.
Bye. I think we have two, and it's probably changed slightly for me. I would go Bestwick, McReynolds, Prime DW. No, can't do. I'm not gonna Prime DW.
No, you can do Prime DW.
Bestwick, Larry Mack, BP.
I'll go.
It's a good one.
I'll go Bestwick, Petrie, and Junior.
Actually, that's what I'll do. I'll go Bestwick, Junior, McReynolds. I like Dale Jr. He's a little younger, a little more relevant for the kids. No, I just mean like he's driven the cars more recently. You need a crew chief and a driver. I think that works.
And so all of ours have either you got a car in the wall or trouble.
Yeah.
I ain't done mine yet. I'm gonna do Bestwick, Benny Parsons, and it's gonna sound weird, but Brad Daugherty.
No, he's good.
Did y'all see that clip resurfaced again of him at Texas?
Yeah.
I would have Brad Daugherty simply. I prefer his goofiness more than I prefer DW's goofiness.
Yeah.
What, you don't like milk and cereal, cereal and milk, cereal and milk.
I would have loved to have seen Benny Parsons and Brad Daugherty together. That would have been an interesting, entertaining booth.
Well, BP is probably one of the only people that could look him near in the eye.
Probably.
Yeah.
Okay, where was I? Okay, Isaac, appreciate the $2. Could Carl Edwards help revive the RFK 60 Xfinity team? I don't know if they're interested in doing that anymore.
I don't think that's happening.
So yeah.
At this point, that team's like in the bottom of Lake Lloyd.
That RFK 60 team, its final year was atrocious. That car started flipping at Daytona.
I did a video a few months ago when I was at RFK. They had for pit practice, for Xfinity pit practice, it was a 60 car, like still wrapped. That's the car they were using for pit practice at RFK.
I would argue that 60 car that year was way worse than the 6 and 16 in 2010.
It ruined the legacy of that team because before that they were like, one of the greatest Xfinity teams ever. Now it's forever known as a meme now.
Too much bad juju with that.
That 60 team had just won an Xfinity championship only a few years before that season.
Yeah. I did a whole video on it. Go watch it, y'all, after the podcast.
Napa Racing Fan 927. Appreciate $2. This is an extremely like this is burning my hands. It's so hot of a take. But he says that Alex Bowman will win before Chase Elliott this year. And that comes from Napa Racing Fan 927.
Sleep. That's a double agent right there. He's undercover.
I'll I'll go 50-50 on that. I could see either side of it. Yeah.
I think Chase Elliott absolutely will win before Bowman this year, but neither have been that. Like I could see neither of them winning. To be honest, at this rate.
Honestly, I think that's more likely.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Chase has been off. Even getting back, he was off.
Chase has been the weirdest one I've interviewed this season. Every time that I have had a microphone to Chase Elliott, he has seemed down on himself. Even the last time I interviewed him, he said that the driver was at fault here. The Charlotte stuff surely didn't help nothing.
Shades of 2017.
Yeah, just hates for his guys.
Yeah.
Yeah. He has definitely not seemed like himself here lately. Trevor Bailey, appreciate being a member for 2 months. He says, Darian, don't you dare tweet about Larson on Sunday. Just don't do it.
I already told him in the chat. It's my job to ruin everything. So I've already established that.
Ross Crash Stain, appreciate the $5. I hate to break it to you, Jarrett, but you never reached halfway in the reading. Therefore, it can't be made official yet.
No, dude.
I mean this in the best way. Go to hell. I'm not doing that.
I
I had to read about goddamn different shades of beige. Never again.
You made it to the end of stage 2. It's official.
Yeah. I made it to the end of stage 2.
Bro, she was in like her underwear and stuff. I don't know. It was weird.
I do not need to read about beige underwear ever again.
Dom, the race fan, appreciate it. $4.99. Bubba was 4th in Xfinity points the year he subbed for Eric Almirola. He lost sponsorship. Roush kicked him out and almost ended his career.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah. Not how it went.
Hunter Nixon Fishing, appreciate it. $4.99. Speaking of NASCAR intros, Fox Dirks Bentley intro Sideways in the early 2010s was always a favorite of mine. Yeah, and he actually so he had a song that so now we just see people's songs that are used. Back then, he had a regular version of Sideways, and he made one especially just for them that was modified to be more NASCAR oriented. So I always liked how he was willing to work with them and make a special song for them.
Yeah.
So I thought that was really cool that he did that. Rowdy Every Point, appreciate it, $2. Stephen Wallace is the most overrated driver ever. That is fair one.
You have to have people say you're good to be overrated.
Bust. No, he's a bust.
When the highlight of his career is Mike Joy saying, Steven, Mr. Rack. You can't be overrated.
Bust.
How many times did he actually get how many times did Mike Joy actually get to commentate for him?
2011 Daytona 500.
Oh yeah.
That was it. That was it. So that tells you about all you need to know.
Yeah.
Because Mike Joy is a cup only guy. Well, he is now at least. Hello FR, appreciate the $2. Top 5 all time, and this is his opinion for the top 75 drivers. So top 5 for him is Jeff Gordon, Jimmy Johnson, Kyle Larson Jr., and Kyle Busch.
Oh wow!
With all due respect,
top five since the 2000s. Like
with all due respect, you're wrong.
Yeah,
how do you have five, Junior but not his dad? Where's Richard?
Yeah. Wait, what? Oh, yeah. I didn't realize there's so many missing people.
Yeah. Maybe these are top 5 Hendrick drivers. Kyle Busch drove for Hendrick.
There you go. That makes more sense.
I'm a Junior fan, and he is nowhere near a top 5 driver, even in his era.
Yeah.
Okay, but he'd be around like that lower half, the top 10 in his era, but he ain't top 5. I can only 5 guys that are better.
If we're talking super speedway, it's definitely top 5.
Yeah, super speedway.
You could argue he's right up there with his dad, super speedway wise, but no, not in general. I love Junior. Never.
What I'm just trying to do is I'm trying to take their list of Johnson, Gordon, Junior, Busch, Larson. I'm trying to figure out what title can we put above that to where that list makes sense. Like what category can we possibly classify that as? Most highest merch. No, Chase Elliott wouldn't be there. I was gonna say most merch sold, but no, Chase Elliott's not in there.
Random driver generator list.
Yeah. I think it's got to be best Hendrick drivers. You could maybe make an argument for some of those. I mean, they're missing some, but you can make an argument.
2 more super chats to go here. Rowdy Every Point, appreciate the $2. The Art of Pizza is the best pizza in Chicago. And Austin Blanchett, appreciate $1.99. And I hate to end on this one, but you said I miss Benny Parsons.
I do.
Yeah, I miss him. I miss him too. Yeah.
I need to look up this Art of Pizza place.
But that'll do it for NWP tonight here on DannyBTalks. We are wrapping up just about under 2 hours. So
Wow.
very
Wow.
short show compared to the last few ones hosted my channel, where I think we went almost 3 hours. So Jarrett, once you get this edited down for the audio version, it is a very short show.
This
Next-
art pizza place does look pretty delicious. There's one really close to where the racetrack is going to be.
Oh, well, there you go. Darian, what are you doing?
Well,
Banning Michael?
He's a mod, so you can't ban him. You can't even ban him anyway.
Yes, you can. Don't do that.
Yeah, you can. Don't tempt him.
Well, no, I'm just playing. Nobody's gonna ban him. Nobody's gonna ban him.
Don't
Come on.
challenge the internet, man. I had to read about
Mo-
beige.
Oh,
Mods,
God.
mods, if you ban Michael Roots, I'll ban you. So there you go. Okay. Next week, you can join us on Wednesday, June 28th at 8 p.m. Eastern Time over on Jarrett the Iceberg on his channel. And we will talk about everything that happened at the Nashville Superspeedway race weekend. We will also preview the Chicago Street Race. And we will keep going on our top 75 drivers, talking about from number 45 to number 41. With that being said, anything else to say before we get out of here, guys?
Just
Goodbye.
answers this last super chat. I use Dove body wash. There you go.
Oh yeah, sorry. Gary Buki, appreciate the $5. Important question of the week: what flavor body wash / bar soap do y'all use? Oh,
I don't.
and by the way, he says if you use bar soap, you are Tim a Giga Chad.
I don't qualify as that. I don't know what I use. I
don't
think it's
either.
from. I think it's from Bath and Body Works. My girlfriend got it for me. So if she
I-
likes it, that's all that matters.
There you go.
I go back and forth between Axe and Old Spice, but Claudia likes the smell, so that's all that matters.
Yeah, I don't need to be a Giga Chad if my girlfriend likes the smell of me. So whatever she picks out.
The real question is, does little dude like the way you smell?
Yeah, actually, little dude. So we have people
We should-
over, and little dudes. Should I go get little dude? We'll end off.
We should specify that little dude is a lizard, not like a little child who's
Yeah.
sniffing. Jarrett.
Should I go get little dude real quick?
Yes.
Go
Sure.
get little dude.
Yeah.
Get us to the 2 hour mark.
Might as well reach the 2 hour mark.
I want to go. I want to
Gotta
go
go
get my little dude too.
My mom's back home and she sounds drunk as hell. So yeah, no. I ain't gonna get her.
I don't have a little dude, or I'd go get one too. Darian, we're holding down the fort here.
You know what? Actually, hold on.
What the hell? They left me. They left me here. I could say anything I want. Danny couldn't stop me. Fishing is overrated. Alex Bowman sucks.
Chokes heard that.
What did he hear? He didn't hear anything. He didn't say. I didn't say nothing.
I heard it too. It was loud.
He is.
Okay, Shugs, look, there's your lizard cousin.
Oh my gosh! Oh, he's climbing all over you, Jarrett.
Yeah. hold
Yeah.
on. Oh, she's all comfortable. Hold on.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
Yeah,
Little dude.
Let me get her to move. There she goes.
There
Nice.
he goes. There she goes. Got Shug's little
man.
dude.
Come on.
Darian needs like a fish.
Oh, fish. I don't know
Yeah.
about that.
There's little dude.
Hi.
Little dude.
Hello.
Oh, there she goes.
There you go.
Eric, do you guys have any pets? I don't know.
I do not. Not right now.
So
Petless.
that's how you know she likes how I smell. They smell with their tongue.
Aw.
Like snakes.
Yes.
See, she's cute.
Adorable.
Adorable.
She's got a
indeed.
permanent smile on her.
Shugs looks very comfortable.
Yeah.
He likes his chin scratchies.
Yes,
Oh,
really does.
All right, I think we're good though.
Yeah.
Yeah,
She's wanting to
That's
move.
enough. That's enough show and tell for one
We-
Yeah, she's
we
wanting to
stretch-
move.
We stretched the show out to 2 hours with the animals.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
thanks for watching, everybody.
Yeah.
Good.
Y'all have a good one.
Have some fun tonight. Go get us a W. Hell yeah. Ready. Green. What the copy? Right foot down. We got to go, plan. Unbelievable, man. Way to keep your head in it. Holy oh, boy. Oh, boy. Yeah. What? Yeah. I'm done with it. It's your pace. Set sail. Steve, you look beautiful. Look great. Ridiculous.